Naruto Shippuden finally has some fully licensed 1/6 scale figures, but how does Rocket Toys stack up to the rest of the competition? Ninjas, hey hi, how you darn? Spoon here, and this is Rocket Toys' 1/6 scale figure of Uchiha Itachi from one of the greatest animes of all time, Naruto Shippuden. When I found out there was a brand out there making figures of my favorite characters from Naruto at this scale, I whipped out my MacBook so fast and hit up my favorite humans over at Toy Square. Then I got the email that he was going to be in within a month, and of course, I had to cop. This thing was protected so well through shipping. On top of the actual shipping box that the shop used to send it in, it came in 2 more shipping boxes from Rocket Toys. This one I'm keeping because my wife and I like the aesthetic of the minimal design and light beige cardboard box. Now on to the actual box. This thing is clean. I love the use of Spot UV to bring out the Akatsuki clouds and the kanji that you'll find on Itachi's ring. We'll dig into those later. On the side here, we have kanji with the word Akatsuki, and on this side, we have the same kanji from the front and the name Itachi below it. And in the back, we just have your warnings and more information about the figure. Nice and simple, super clean, and on the top here and on the bottom, we have the Naruto Shippuden logo. Popping off the top of the box, we are greeted with an insert with a shot of the actual figure itself of Itachi. Nice and clean, nice and simple. Underneath that, we have an insert, full color piece of paper that shows us what the accessories are, and on the other side, instructions, basically the manual for how to use and install or swap out any of the accessories available. Other brands usually just print out black and white instructions, so this is nice. Rocket Toys, you get some spoon points for that. All right, let's get everything unwrapped and let's jump into the figure. Itachi's story is an emotional one, full of heartache, sacrifice, and so much love. Because of this, I love everything Rocket Toys gave us to go with the head sculpt. We've got 2 hairstyles with 2 different ponytail attachments, one relaxed style and one with a slightly windswept look. We have 3 portraits, all easily replaceable using magnets and slots to lock pieces in place. And for some reason, it comes with 2 identical pieces of the back of his head. And lastly, for the head sculpt, we've got 5 interchangeable eyeballs that you can replace using this tool, and once they're in the head, you can rotate them using this tool. And according to the manual, you can use an ultraviolet light to make the eyes glow, so that's kinda neat. Features like glow-in-the-dark or black light effects don't really do anything for me. They don't, how you say, fancy my tickle. Because no one's going to stand there looking at your figures on display with a black light or charging the glow-in-the-dark all day to make sure it's there all the time. So for me, it's not the inside that counts, it's what's readily available outside that counts. The eyes do look amazing though. The red is vibrant and the symbols within the eyes look sharp and have all the details in them. I do think there's a way to have this separation in the hair hidden better. You can do what Hot Toys did with Luke Skywalker's hairpiece, for example. Just have the headband attached to it, because the seam underneath the headband would have been a lot cleaner than it running across the top of his head like it does now. It's one of my biggest pet peeves around premium figures like this, especially when the discussion around them is usually about accuracy and cleanliness of execution. That said, it's not make or break for me. I don't base my purchases on seams that run across the top of the head. Speaking of the headband, the forehead protector is on point, with the slashed Hidden Leaf Village symbol on a nice metallic painted plate. It's nice and clean. And of course, we have a neutral OG Itachi face, the one we all learned to love, that pairs well with his regular Sharingan eyes. Sharingan meaning copy wheel eye, that appears for certain members of the Uchiha clan, granting powers of insight, like knowing what your opponent will do next, and illusory magic, using hypnotism, like making you live out endless nightmares. And then a transformation occurs when the user experiences trauma, losing someone they deeply care about. Then the Sharingan turns into, or evolves into, the Mangekyo Sharingan. And that's the second set of eyes the figure comes with. The Mangekyo Sharingan grants the user a unique ability specific to them, and in Itachi's case, the Amaterasu, where he can ignite anything he's looking at with black flames, even fire. So he's literally fighting fire with fire. It's anime as all heck, but I love it. Now the other 2 portraits pull from more pivotal moments from his storyline. I believe this portrait pulls from the first time we see him use Amaterasu in the anime. The strain and power of using Amaterasu causes his eye to become bloodshot and start bleeding down the sides. That's also how we get the final right eye that he comes with. This all looks great with the other lightly windswept hairstyle. Now, his last portrait is one I will choose to not go into too much detail about, because it's actually, for me at least, one of the biggest moments in Naruto Shippuden. And I don't want to spoil or take that away from anyone who's thinking of starting the anime. Just know that this portrait is special because of it. Alright, let's talk about Itachi's outfit. He's a member of the Akatsuki, a group of rogue shinobi or ninja who exist separately from everyone else, with the main goal of making the world a better place, but by any means necessary. Now, the Akatsuki uniform is super dope, but the best piece of the uniform, in my opinion, is the cloak, and unfortunately, on this figure, it looks a little goofy, but we'll get into that later. Underneath the cloak, Itachi wears clothes similar to the rest of the group. Mesh armor with navy accents underneath a gray-blue tee with a white belt around his waist. To complete Itachi's look is his necklace. It doesn't fall all too perfectly, but it does its job. Below his top are matching blue pants and open-toe sandals wrapped by white leggings or shoe covers. At first glance, the Akatsuki cloak looks as it should be. Tall collar to hide your face in, red Akatsuki clouds all perfectly pressed on, silky red inner lining, seams all stitched without flaw, with the wire running through them so you can pose or have it fall in any way your heart desires. I love all that, but when you get it on the figure, it's a different story. Now, opened up all the way or even halfway, it still looks pretty cool. But the moment you close up the upper half using the magnets to get the classic Akatsuki look, that's where you lose me. It's just so poorly tailored. It doesn't sit well on the body of the figure and looks way too baggy. Granted, in the anime it's not snug or form-fitting, but it's for sure meant to fit better. This doesn't even look like it was made for him. Like he picked the cloak off the wrong hook and grabbed his homies instead of his. They got all the measurements wrong for my guy, poor Itachi. Low-key, I hope he finds a new tailor for a new cloak, and I hope he gets a refund for this one. To complete the Akatsuki look is the bamboo straw hat with falling fabric to hide their identities. Hanging down the front is an ornamental tassel with a little bell attached to it. Each strand of fabric on that hat is wired for posability. Rocket Toys loves their wires, and I love Rocket Toys for loving their wires. And this leads us, actually, to the first of 8, technically 9 interchangeable hands that the figure comes with. All of his hands were sculpted nicely, with a manicure looking on point, and the rings on all the right fingers looking right. All 10 members of the Akatsuki have a ring, each one worn on a different finger with different colors and different kanji symbol to represent each member. Itachi's ring says Shu, meaning scarlet or crimson, symbolizing Itachi's dark and bloody past. The technical 9th hand is this one, carrying this beautifully sculpted crow. There's so much detail in the sculpt. The painting, feather lines, and textures were really well done. Itachi has the ability to summon crows that he would call upon flocks of to swarm and distract opponents. He'd even use them to create clones of himself. Again, anime is all heck, and I love it. The next set of hands are the left and right pairs for holding kunai, and a hand sign that's known as the Seal of Confrontation, a symbol of combat that's a universal sign of engagement between shinobi. The next hand is one used to lock and load shuriken, a Japanese concealed weapon also known as throwing or ninja stars. The kunai and shuriken are made out of an alloy material. They look and feel great. They actually have some weight to them. I like that they went this route instead of going with sculpted plastic painted gray. Now this right hand has a dual purpose. You can use it to load a shuriken with, or you can combine it with this portrait and just start uncontrollably crying. And lastly, he comes with a resting left hand. You can rock his signature I'm Itachi in a spicy badass look. Articulation is amazing thanks to double jointed elbows and knees. I always prefer unexposed joints with the skin out like this, but I can completely understand the decision, especially when you have to take into account the posability of a ninja. And of course, you can't forget about the display base. Matching the kanji and color on his ring with Itachi on the nameplate, this display base is simple and perfect for putting him on display. It is a little disappointing that it's just a hollow piece of plastic with no real weight to it, but at least it looks good. Though I do wish they put his full name instead of Itachi in this terrible font using hiragana or katakana. I couldn't be happier having a fully licensed 1/6 scale figure of my guy. Rocket Toys nailed most of the details and gave us the right pieces to help us capture all of our favorite moments of Itachi and share them with everyone on display. for a not so established brand jumping into the 1/6 scale world with this piece, I'm quite impressed. I'm very excited to see what their upcoming releases will be like. And hopefully, sooner than later, they'll figure out the proper measurements to get these cloaks fitting on their figures. Thank you so much for watching my review of Rocket Toys' 1/6 scale figure of Uchiha Itachi from Naruto Shippuden. Let me know who your favorite shinobi is in the comments below. And if you vibe with the video even just a little bit, please consider doing the thing and hitting the like and subscribe button. I don't like saying this, but it truly makes the channel grow. Thank you again so much for watching. I have been Spoon. I love you, stay spicy, and I'll see you real soon.